Hello, every binary, and welcome to Monsterhearts 2, the Ebon Carnival, a setting skeleton made by me. Sawyer also goes by Ferret. I really don't care what you call me. My pronouns are he, him, or whatever you want to call me. I really don't care. Um, I am the wonderful MC to these fine players I found on the Gauntlet. If you like tabletop RPGs and people who are really into them and will do a good job with them, try out the Gauntlet and have some great times. Um, we are going to introduce our characters and have some backstory to see what's happened before we get into this finale. So, Peter, would you introduce yourself, your character, and give us a flashback of what happened last week?
Sure thing. Hey, I'm Peter. I use he, him pronouns. Today, for the sadly final time, I'm playing Rodney Johnson, the Minotaur. Uh, Rodney's had a bit of a roller coaster of this whole session and everything before it. He's just been trying to find his way. First, he was a bit, sort of annoyed at people being nice to him or confused by it. And then he started being nice back, almost, I'd say boldly, not forcefully. But yeah, that's certainly caused some opinions to grow with certain people. Most recently, the most continuous evolution has been actually between Rodney and Astoria, our resident unicorn. They are, at this point, I think, from Rodney's perspective, definitely dating. And that can't possibly go wrong at all, which is normally sarcastic, but so far it hasn't really gone that wrong at all. So, I mean, it can't possibly. It probably will. But explicitly, last session, we found out more of the truth behind what happened to Rodney's father. And Rodney basically enacted some sort of justice on the person responsible for it, who I believe, pulling up the NPC names, was it Ringleader King?
You got revenge on Ringleader King. You have not done anything to Dr. Gomez.
Right. I knew it wasn't the doctor, but I knew the doctor was involved because apparently Rodney's whole thing with his father is that his father actually his father died of natural causes, but it was unnaturally timed because basically there's a doctor in town who was set up for different reasons to put Rodney's father to sleep, and he overdid it, and Rodney's father never woke up. And
we should also mention that Ringleader King's sister, narratively found out, was Lear's mother in the game. Was married to Mr. Hagen, and Mrs. Hagen was cheating with Rodney's father.
Yeah, which, Rodney hasn't addressed that with Lear either, so that can't possibly go wrong either. Yeah, welcome back. But I think that, the last thing that I remember is that we were possibly going to try and pull together some plot or scheme or plan as to dethrone Mother Tribute, because things have been slowly falling upwards, and it's about time we take this carnival back.
Thank you very much. Donna, would you introduce yourself and your wonderful character?
Hello all, my name is Donna. My pronouns are he, him, and I'm based in Dublin, in Ireland. And I will be playing Cecilia Mirga tonight for the final time. But who knows? She is the Harpy, and is certainly very, very mean and very, very particular about how she carries herself, except far from being completely beholden to Mother Tribute as she has been in the past. Last week, she instigated a kind of a coup against her, holding her to blame for all of the various nefarious deeds that have been done under her auspices. And yeah, I guess the only thing which seems to abate her edge is the presence of one Sami, the witch.
Thank you very much. Leandra, would you introduce yourself and your super nice, sweet cinnamon bun of a character?
I'm not gonna let that go. Hi, I'm Leandro. I use he/him pronouns, and yeah, for the last time, I'm playing Astoria Sunderland, the aforementioned cinnamon roll of a character, which can't be helped because she's using the unicorn playbook, and you can't really play a not cinnamon roll unicorn. Well, maybe we'll see. I don't know. This is the only time I played it, so yeah, Astoria was a runaway with the aforementioned Sammy and found the carnival, was enchanted and wanted to be a part of it, but found that the carnival had something rotten inside. And over the course of the series, kind of like put up to herself to like help fix the carnival, even as a lot of people seem to think that she can and will do it. Much pressure on her shoulders. Last week, she saw a unicorn. Yeah, she totally did. Saw a unicorn. Didn't get to talk to it. Maybe she will. Who knows? And then basically, yes, helped Rodney deal with his past after kind of mentioning that she had a vision of his dad going out with Lear's mom, which he didn't know about. And Astoria had to come clean about knowing that. And also kind of ordered Rodney to not kill anyone. Thankfully, he didn't. And yeah, there was an awkward four-person conversation at a picnic table. I remember that. It was supremely awkward. And then, yeah, I think it actually ended quite sweetly last session with just Astoria and Rodney going off and like just making plans for the future. Who knows what's going to happen now?
Thank you. And Ryan, would you introduce yourself and let us know what Lear has been doing? The sideshow has been very prominent.
Hi, my name is Ryan. I use he/him pronouns. I am playing Lear, who is using the Fomorian playbook. Lear is, well, I like him. Lear is a showman. He is a sideshow performer at the carnival. Fire juggler and fire breather. And he, last time I played him was actually in our first session. I've been out for a couple games, but last we saw Lear, he ran away from a very awkward situation where he nearly burned Astoria during one of his acts. Having felt that sort of guilt, but also that sort of all the eyes on him, feeling that sort of judgment, I think he probably ran away and has been keeping a very low profile, letting that kind of guilt but also anger bubble up a little bit, which is why I bumped up his volatile stat. He's probably not in the best place, but I think, unless he's appeared in any of the other sessions you guys have played. No? Okay. So I think, yeah, he's been keeping out of sight from pretty much everybody for the past however long it's been, and I think he's finally worked up the nerve to come back, whether that's for the healthy reasons or the the unhealthy reasons, as we'll come to find out.
Okay, thank you very much. And I believe we're going to begin this session. I have a few hard scenes in mind, unless anyone wants to set a scene themselves. I always like to defer to the players. Okay. We will begin. Astoria and Rodney, were you in the same trailer last time we left? Let's do a time skip of like a day or so from the mother tribute being found out to be complicit in this Bruce Lee style death in a way. And I think, Rodney, I'm going to ask you a question. Have you moved from Walter's trailer to Astoria's? If she lets you.
If she lets me, yes. That is something where I do want to have a conversation with Walter, because there's that whole business that I didn't directly address.
Mm-hmm.
Because last I left him, he was heartbroken and crying.
Yeah. Astoria, is it fine that Rodney rooms with you?
Yeah, I don't think she'd have any problem with that.
Okay. I think then it is nearing 3 o'clock in the morning, the witching hour, and in Astoria's trailer, there is Astoria. You wake up. Rodney is. If Rodney is asleep near you or in the same bed, however you guys sleep, whatever the arrangement is, but you feel a strange, like you hear wind chimes almost, or some kind of sound coming from the forest near the trailers. Um, you it's curious as you step outside. You notice that no one has these chimes on their trailers. There is no wind blowing. It is the moonlight. The moon is large enough that light is streaming down on you. It looks blue and dark in the night, but you see a silvery figure darting through the woods. What do you do?
I think I'm entranced enough by that sight and just then the sounds that I'm gonna throw caution to it and just gonna follow it into the woods.
Okay. You go through the woods. It feels like a short time, yet you feel to cover a lot of ground you've not seen. Like you're pushing branches out of your way. Your coat finally catches on some thorny bushes, and you pull free. But when you pull free, you notice that just behind right beside the tree next to you, is the unicorn you saw near your creek. It is it's like a Clydesdale in build, very big, very muscular. The hair over the hooves, big tail, and this large spiraling horn that only like it's like two spirals that don't meet until the tip, and you can almost feel like it's grinning at you. And the horn glows, and you hear in your mind, "Welcome, sister. I thought I sensed you."
Um, um, I actually think Astoria, as much as probably as she's shocked is, I think there's actually like she actually feels kind of calm-ish as she's seeing this, and she hears that, and I think she says, what do you mean by sister?"
We are kin. We share the same blood. We are ilk. We share the same magic.
What will happen if I step forward and try to touch the unicorn just to see if if it's really there?
The unicorn leans into your touches. You touch it, and like the forest, even though the moonlight is showing, it comes to like full life and sunlight. You see, like everything is in this beautiful like different shades of blue. It feels comforting. It feels warm, even though it's 3 o'clock in the morning at Haven, Massachusetts, and you feel a rush of resolve. Gain one integrity.
Oh, I think kind of as I pet the unicorn, I think, right, I don't have any integrity until now. I think sorry, kind of whispers, how does that make any sense? I'm just some runaway kid with dreams. You're beautiful. You're magical. How can you
Close
be the
your
same?
eyes for a second. Trust
Okay.
me. And you then hear like the voice, but outspoken, and it's very like it's not as rough as my voice. Very kind of soothing, smooth, like like one of those old singers that didn't need auto tune. Like open them now, and when you open your eyes, you see a David Bowie-esque, like androgynous figure. You can't really tell if it's male, can't really tell if it's female, but it doesn't really matter. They're beautiful. And there's this like small star on the forehead where the horn used to be, like a Harry Potter scar in a way, but looks more like a birthmark. And they open their arms. It's like, can I have a hug? It's been a while since I've seen one of my own.
Yeah, I don't think the story makes the first move, but yeah, I think her arms are like just like okay, I can trust this unicorn, and yeah, I'll let them hug me.
The unicorn like just whispers to you, the carnival is a safe place for us. If you actually take over this place of magic, you will be able to house several of us. We will have a place. Remember when Mother Tribute said you are the future? That is the one true vision she has ever had in her life.
I think like as this hug is going, Astoria hears all that and says, oh, that's what I thought the carnival is. And but no, it's not what it is right now, but it's what it could be, right? That's what it's meant to be. And I want it to be like that. Not because we need places like that.
We do. And with you at the helm, we can have a resurgence. We can come back. The world can be magical once again.
I'm scared.
It's a lot to put on your shoulders, young. I understand, and I am sorry that you must face this, but you do not need to face this alone. And like I think they wipe like or at your eye if there's a tear, like sleep in it, and like you get a vision of Rodney. It's like you have your protector. They wipe the other eye, and you see a vision of Cecilia. You have your right hand, and then they like brush your hair out of your face, and you see an image of Lear. You have the outlier. You have every part of the carnival looking towards you. Don't falter, and you will come out on top.
I think with every like shot of Rodney and Cecilia and Lear, I think I'm like I think the story's resolve kind of gets stronger, and she kind of lets go of the hug. She kind of stands back a bit just to drink in. Just calling in my head the David Bowie unicorn. And no, I don't know if she trusts herself to say anything, so I think she just kind of nods as strongly as she can.
It has been a pleasure, my cousin. I will see you soon if you need me. You can call on me if you need. And they like step back, they smile, and like the moonlight, like the forest goes back like the darkness. The moon seems to disappear, and you open your eyes, and you're next to Rodney. But there is a single strand of pure silver hair, like wrapped around your wrist, and you now have a string on the unicorn.
Oh wow!
But Rodney, Astoria is waking up next to you, jostling you a bit. What do you do?
I mean, if she's jostling me, that's actually probably a little unusual.
I think like by just moving, not like shaking you.
Oh, okay, okay. I'll kind of. I think I'm gonna just open one eye and just kind of go. What time is it?
Not enough time where we can still sleep. We don't need to get up yet.
Well, why are you up? Because you're clearly awake.
Sorry, I just had a dream. You know, trying to sleep again. Don't worry about me.
Okay, you tell me a lot of things, but one of the things I really can't listen to is when you say, "Don't worry about me." So, what's the deal? What's got you awake?
And don't lie, unicorn.
No, I know. Jeez, God, that damn it's got me into trouble. Well, I think the story kind of like turns to you and says, "Actually, it's just it was just one of those dreams that like it's not like it wasn't a bad dream. No, right? It wasn't. It was one of those dreams that kind of like when you wake up, there's a part of you that wants to stay there because it was just so sweet and lovely. But when you wake up, you're just filled with resolve. You know, waking when we don't. It doesn't feel like waking up isn't a chore. You know, and she kind of like go on.
No, go ahead.
No, go on.
I was just gonna say that sounds really nice. So go ahead.
No, I think she kind of like she feels the unicorn hair on her wrist and kind of like raises it up so that you can see.
Well, that's new. I thought you said it was a dream.
Doesn't mean it has to be not true.
All right. So then what does that mean if you said something about your resolve?
Rodney, there's magic in this place. Like actual magic. And for a long yeah.
I'm looking at it.
But not just me. Come on.
Okay.
Well, this place has always been magical. It's just for a long time the magic ran, but now we've got a chance to bring it back. We have like a chance after all this time.
You know, it kind of makes sense. If the magic ran away, it would take a runaway to bring it back.
Well, I'm not running away anytime soon, so I don't know if...
No, I know. I trust you. You know what you're doing.
Are you okay?
It's like 3 a.m. I'm exhausted. That's really it.
Sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. No, go back to sleep. I honestly, I don't know if I'd be able to go back to sleep at the moment.
Well, you do what you need to do. I will be right here. And that's both for your comfort and because I am going to sleep.
I think she gives you a kiss in the cheek. And yeah, I think she is just restless. She's just gonna get up and I don't know.
Yes,
she doesn't
yes,
know. She
yes.
just...
Insert Minna snores. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, so I was going to just time skip like earlier or later in the morning, if that's okay with Astoria. I think Cecilia, you are going to check on Vikram just because it's the morning. He's like your father figure, and you will find him like not protecting Lear exactly, but like basically trying to. You find him with Lear, talking to the guy and uh, just trying to like reassure him that everything's going to be okay since like the father and mother scandal happened last session. And like this is in
So,
like the sideshow tent for like the area.
yeah, so I guess we have been worried about Lear, have we? By and large, he's been not not his usual self, right? He's usually really, I guess, confident about his abilities, and maybe this incident with Astoria shook it a little bit. So, I mean, I guess Cecilia will be inclined to give Vikram all the room he needs to do that because she knows she's not going to help. I mean, especially if she tries to help, she's definitely knows she's not going to help. She will ball him out at some other stage, I'm sure.
And I think, but I think Vikram sees Cecilia and motions her over. And it's just like, Cecilia, Lear has been hiding, or at least not in the open for a while. He is one of our kin, one of our people. I do not want to see harm come to him due to the drama of this carnival. A lot has been happening, and I would rather it start petering out now, or at least not becoming a dramatic bomb.
Well, things must be really at an impasse if you're looking for my motivational speaking skills.
To be fair, your speaking skills have been quite good lately. You've been chipping away at the old woman, and her talons have been loosening here. And he looks at Lear's like, I'd rather her talons not get into him.
Yeah. And if I'm being completely honest, Cecilia, I just need somebody to tell me like it is, and I can't think of anybody better than you.
Okay. Knuckle cracking. um, okay. What you did with Astoria was completely out of bounds. I told her that. You get people to help you in the middle of a show, you need prep. I mean, you're trying to impress her? Well, that ship has sailed. I mean, she's already impressed by everyone, right? So you don't need to prove yourself to her. You don't need to prove yourself to me. I know you're shit hot.
You're right. Yeah, it was a dumb move. I saw her looking at my show with wide eyes, and then I thought, oh man, if she thinks this is great, then just wait till I. But yeah, I messed up. I probably, I don't know, just seeing everybody look at me and seeing her look at me that way, I just I don't know. We're all runaways here in some way, but the fact that I ran away from you all, that's not cool. And I just, I don't know if I'm ready to come back yet, but I want to see if there's some way I can work my way back in.
Okay, Lear. Let's give you some rope, right?
Just enough to hang myself.
Just enough to hang yourself with, because that's all all I require. You ran away, that's fine. We all get a chance to be assholes. That was yours. You're on at 7.
I think Lear's eyes sort of just brighten up. He looks like he probably hasn't slept well in the past few days. And he looks tired, but like sort of rejuvenated by that a bit.
Can I spend a string on Lear to give him a condition?
You may.
Can I give him a condition like showman or something?
You can.
That's maybe entirely. Maybe it's too positive, but I'm sure no one will be able to hook into that to do anything damaging to him. But
You
that's
might
the
want
kind
to
of
maybe showstopper kind of thing, or maybe burning bright.
okay. Yeah, burning bright. I like that.
Because there's no candles that burn brightly ruin quickly. And I do believe that if you would like just a prompt to show off how your softer side elegant egotist would trigger now.
Okay. Yeah. I guess. When I turn someone on who currently has a condition you placed on them, roll with cold instead of hot. Yeah. Okay. We'll do this.
Maybe like Cecilia goes up and maybe like when she's saying you're on at 7, she's like brushing him down, kind of touching him to make sure there's no, making sure there's no burns. Gotta look pretty on stage.
Yeah, I think you're wearing this flashy coat like we have in your character keeper image, but maybe you've been spending a little bit too much time in it. So she kind of comes around behind you and brushes it off slowly. And it's definitely like I think a control thing, right? But it's still a thing where she is turning you on. Okay, let me roll. Roll a 6, so that is +2, so that's an 8. So you gotta pick.
I gotta pick one of these.
You can either give them a string or pick.
Okay. In that case, I think I'm going to give Cecilia something I think she wants, which is what I think, because it seems like Cecilia's trying really hard to, at least from Lear's limited interaction, trying hard to sort of take control of things, whether that's become a more prominent leader in it. I think I'm going to essentially, like, not to be overly dramatic, but this is Monsterhearts, basically swear my loyalty to her in some way. I think when she kind of puts her hands on my shoulders, I sort of put my hands on her hands and I look her in the eye, and with like bags under his eyes, Lear says, you know, this place is my home, and nobody makes it a home like you do. And I'm here for whatever you need. And they sort of like realizes he's holding her hands and he really should not be. He's sort of like, oh, okay, all right, wish me luck. And he grabs his things and starts heading off to his stage.
Do you want to reciprocate that turn someone on roll? Because
I think so.
Someone telling Cecilia that that she makes them feel at home is extraordinarily unusual.
Yeah, fantastic. I'm gonna actually.
You're muted.
Yeah, just about to say.
Classic me. I'm rolling with hot, so that's -1, so it's a 9, so it's an 8 in total. So choose one.
I think. I think even before Lear realizes that he's kind of holding her hands, Cecilia will draw them away. This is way outside her comfort zone to be called like a homely, loving harpy. So yeah, we're going with embarrassed and awkward.
Yeah, so Lear is walking away after embarrassing Cecilia, and I think the next scene will be. I think they're going to show off at these sort of 3 stages where people can come like just watch like several shows at once. But Lear is performing next to Rodney's strongman act. And I think you guys are meeting backstage before your acts go on. This will not go badly at all.
No, not any tension.
Oh, no.
But I think Rodney has been prepared, like doing his stretches to do like the strongman, and as he's doing this, the smell of kerosene hits his nose backstage as Lear begins walking in. What do you two do?
Interesting. I think Lear's initial instinct, if he sees Rodney, is to kind of put his head down. But I don't think there's any way, like you said, for Rodney to not know that Lear is here and like preparing to go on. So he's maybe getting his things. I think he's trying like a fiery whip act this time. So he's sort of like making sure all his whip is like unknotted and untangled, and just sort of like getting that out, testing it, and checking that all of his kerosene is in order.
You're still alive.
Against probable odds, yeah. You look big.
As compliments go, that's not the worst I've heard. So.
Yeah, so have I missed anything? Everybody here seems to be on edge. He says, totally on edge.
Some recent secrets have come to light. For one, my father, who I've been told since the incident died of natural causes, apparently was unintentionally killed by both Ringleader King and I believe Dr. Gomez, but I haven't spoken to the latter. The former got an earful from me and the rest of the carnival, which sadly you weren't there for. I am actually a little sad that you weren't there.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, man. What do you plan to do when you see Gomez?
I don't know. I still have a promise to uphold. I'm not supposed to kill anyone. But then again, I upheld the first promise because the person who I promised was right there, so it depends when I see him, where I see him, and who I see him with.
I could be... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, actually, go ahead.
Lear says, I could be the person you see him with.
That, honestly, is a bad idea. Because the other reason I wish you were there is because of the secrets that came to light. One of the big reasons why my father met his untimely demise is because apparently he was cheating, or was it the person he was cheating with was cheating? Because the person he was with was apparently your mother.
I think Lear takes a step back, saying, "Whoa! What do you mean, my mother?"
I mean, your mother. Apparently, your mother, my father, had a thing. Don't worry, that doesn't make us at all related in the least, because this happened far after either of us were born. But apparently, your mother is Ringleader King's sister. So he was trying to protect her, or protect her from your father, or it's all really confusing. And really the most important thing is the fact that, in a weird way, if it weren't for the fact that your mother and my father decided to hell with things, both of them might still be around. So, and I think at this point I stand up because I've been like kind of doing leg stretches where like I stretch out while sitting on the ground, and I tower over you.
Yeah, I think Lear like almost falls, just from like fear. Like he thinks you're getting up to kick his ass.
So, tell me two things. One, did you know?
Rodney, I barely knew my parents. But if my mom and your dad were together, then I don't know, there must have been some reason for what happened. But I had no idea.
Well, congratulations, Lear. You found the exact best and worst possible ways to answer that question simultaneously. So, my second question. Why shouldn't I kick your ass right now?
It's a great question. Lear sort of looks around. Is anybody looking at this scene?
I think there are several like non-named NPC carnival workers, but most of them are kind of on Rodney's side with this Jerry Springer drama.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. He says, well, it's not like my mom did anything to your dad. It's not like I did anything to you. And I think Lear is almost going to find a little bit of nerve in this situation to try and maybe stand up and confront Rodney, whether he does it correctly or not. We'll see. He says, You think kicking my ass is going to solve your problems? Trust me, I've been kicking my ass for the past week, and it hasn't solved any of them.
Not stupid enough to think that kicking your ass is going to solve my problems. But I'd be lying if I said it wouldn't make me feel at least a little bit better.
I would say, Lear, it seems like you might need to keep your cool in this situation.
Yeah, for sure.
And
Great.
Are you afraid the other carnies will keep you from running away from this ass beating?
Yes, definitely. I think he wants to save face as much as possible, so running away with everybody's eyes on him, he's almost frozen in this situation.
Okay, so roll plus cold.
All right. Oh, good. A 5 plus my 1, so that's a 6.
Yeah. Oh, give me 1 second, because what should I do?
I can try to save you, but this is probably more fun. See what happens.
Oh, for sure.
The one.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, you're trying to make amends. You're trying to be nice, and too many people are angry at you for what your parents did.
Yeah.
You're in your darkest self, but as a nice bit of generosity, you're also enraged.
Love it. In that case, so great. So I'm enraged. Okay, so everybody's eyes are on me, and I feel that same sort of heat on the back of my neck and on my ears that I did when Astoria, when I almost burned Astoria and sort of scared everybody. It's a sort of like embarrassment cocktail mixed with anger, and he kind of like grips that whip in his hands a little bit tighter, and he says, "You know what, Rodney? I might be a freak. I might be the odd man out among the odd men out, but you're a fucking monster." And I think he's trying to shut him down.
Go for it.
Yeah, roll that cold again.
Yeah, Lyrian in a great place emotionally. Okay, that's an 11 plus 1, so a 12.
And if you want to tag enraged, it'd be a 13.
I definitely think that applies, but also doesn't matter.
Yeah. So
Okay.
you get to choose from the shut someone down options. Rodney, do you have a string on Lear?
I do. I have a few of them.
So yeah, you can make Rodney lose a string on you, give Rodney a condition, or take +1 forward to your next roll.
Interesting. I definitely think a condition, you're a monster.
So yeah. Yeah, take the condition monster, Rodney.
Got it. All right.
And I think he's ready to like be on the receiving end of violence. So he kind of grips that whip in his hand just in case.
So what do you do, Rodney?
Where's the nearest kerosene?
In Lear's hands, probably.
I lean down close to Lear, and I pick him up, and I just say, "Yes. Yes, I am a monster. It's about fucking time I owned that. And I'm going to strike the kerosene to see if I can basically light Lear on fire."
You do just a meta game. You do know that that won't do any harm to him.
Okay, you're right. I did forget about that. It's been
Do
a
you
bit.
want to like throw him like on stage violently before he's ready?
Yeah, I think I do.
Maybe he's separated from his kerosene, so you throw the fire eater. You literally throw the fire eater on stage where everyone's waiting. I can see this being used as bully, as a shutdown to throw him out there, or lash out physically if you want to just hurt him by throwing him out.
I'm gonna go with lash out physically because I've got a +2.
Gotcha. And this is, I think Lear is now burning brightly, so you can tag that if you'd like.
I will. So that's a +3.
because he is standing up to you so strongly.
All right, that's a 9, which I'm going to go ahead and spend a string on Lear to bump to a 10.
Okay. And yeah, so Lear, you're lifted up. I think like Rodney takes a few steps and then just chucks you on stage. You go through the curtains, you go through the air, you see the crowd, and then slam down on the stage. Take 1 harm, and you are, I think, like sputtering, gasping for air. You landed on your diaphragm. It pushed all the air out, and you're just struggling to get up. And the crowd's all like, "Huh? What's this?"
Okay. Is Rodney following me out?
Yeah, but what I'm going to do is when I come out and as you fall in, I'm going to, in my biggest grandstanding ringleader impression voice, just going to say, "The impressive Lear, everyone. Isn't he just on fire?"
I'm going to sort of like uncurl that whip, and just try and like lash out physically. Wait a minute. That was
The first
bad.
time it worked.
That was so bad. Okay. I'm going to basically go at him and just try to hit him. But at the same time, I think he's like also trying to like get back to his kerosene so he can light this thing on fire to sort of like dissuade him from fighting.
Yeah, and I think like the sun is beating down. Like it almost seems like there are people wearing red shirts. It's very brightly like fire lit almost right now, just
Sure.
where you're around. And yes, Astoria can be in the crowd, but I think let's let this lash out physically resolve before Astoria acts.
Okay. A 9 plus 2
Plus 2.
is going to be, that's an 11. And then I think I'm going to spend a string to add +1 harm.
Okay, yeah, and Rod, I think what this is like Lear, how Lear is practiced with this whip, just like he's used to like whipping it on fire. So I mean, whipping it when it's not on fire is very easy. And Lear, like you come out like you're saying your spiel, like the Grand Lear, and the whip just cracks you on the cheek and like gets this huge gash all the way to your mouth, and you're bleeding. You take a step back, and Astoria, what do you do?
I think I kind of stand up and shout both their names, kind of as loud I can, and get on the stage. And I hope they notice that I look, well, distraught, but also just a bit angry at seeing this.
I'm going to just kind of put my hands up and step back and go, "You know what? You're right. I don't need to blame you for what your parents did. I can just blame you for this."
Lear is going to throw the whip on the ground. He's going to say, "You
Remember,
can blame."
you are in your darkest self.
Oh yes, that is true. Okay, well in that case, I mean he's not going to then throw it down because my darkest self is like burn all around you. So in that case, all right, so never mind. Retcon that a little bit. He does not throw down the whip. I think when he says that, it kind of ignites his anger a little bit more. He finds like a container of kerosene and lights that whip up, and just sort of like he doesn't go for Rodney directly, but he kind of lights the curtains of the stage on fire. And he's sort of just, I think, kind of just blind rage. Whether or not anybody is in his way is of little consequence to him right now.
Yeah. And I think that this means, like, Rodney, your escape route off the stage has been blocked, pretty
Yeah.
much, unless you jump off the stage.
Well, I think upon seeing Astoria, Rodney is basically throwing out all means of getting out of there, at least without her. And so I think he's not moving behind the stage or anything. He's moving in front to just kind of. He heard about what happened with the last time that Lear accidentally almost burned Astoria, and he'll instinctively kind of step in front of her.
Yeah, I think the crowd is like, some of them are mumbling. A lot of them have their camera phones out. But Rodney, how do you feel right now?
Rage and fear are fighting inside of me. Rage at Lear, fear for Astoria.
Understood. And
Because I can protect myself or I can die, but I can't leave her.
And Astoria, what are you feeling?
Actually, I just realized I still have written down that terrified condition back in session 1. I shouldn't
Yeah,
have
I
that.
think, I think you stood up to this. You're not terrified anymore.
Yeah, I think the fire is. I think she flinches at the fire, but more than that, I think she just sees the two of them just acting out their pain, and it's makes her heart break a bit. So she's just kind of like, she feels sad, but I don't think she feels helpless. I think she wants to do something.
So what do you do?
I think I kind of like, I think I walk up to Lear as I think he's lashing out with that whip, and I just try to get as close as possible to him and just say, Lear, not right now, please. Just, and I think I try to my hand. I think I try to grab my his hand, his wrist, anyway,
Astoria.
the one I'm holding with.
Astoria.
You're muted, Ryan.
So you grab his hand that's holding the whip?
Yeah.
Okay. I think Lear, still in his darkest self and still kind of feeling like he needs to prove something, he's going to kind of knock you away, and he's going to say, "What about him?" And he points at Rodney, and he says, "This guy, he thinks he can put his anger where it doesn't belong. He thinks he can just do whatever he wants. He's big enough, and he can just hurt whoever he wants. Who's really the monster here?"
Lear. Lear, it may not help at this point, but I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Just please don't hurt her.
Oh,
And
so now you're afraid?
You know what? Yeah, I am, because I don't need to be afraid for myself, but I can be afraid for the people I care about.
Ooh, and I think this is the escape clause.
I think Rodney saying that kind of pushes back on Lear, and he looks at Astoria's face, whether she looks kind of, overcoming whatever danger she's in, and he sees, like how Rodney said, he's not afraid for himself, he's afraid for somebody he cares about. And I think Lear just sort of drops the whip. It's smoldering on the stage, although I imagine his stage is pretty fire resistant.
Mm-hmm.
And he just sort of takes a step back, dumbfounded.
I think Astoria kind of like walks up to Lear and then kind of like kneels closer to his face. So her words are just not for the audience. And Astoria says, "You know what I see, Lear? You're right. I see monsters. I see freaks. I see weirdos. I see people who are just left behind. That's all I see. That's who we are. People got left behind. And all we have are each other."
I was worried that I was going to get left behind from you all. Lear, he kind of, I think, oh gosh, good question. I think he's going to maybe try and make his way slowly towards Rodney. Like he doesn't have the whip in his hands anymore, but he's sort of like slowly walking himself over towards Rodney, maybe in a gesture of sort of peace.
Yeah, Rodney won't move. He's not gonna back away. But I think also part of his mindset is just the further you move towards him, it's away from Astoria.
I think Astoria comes to you and
Oh,
kind of takes your hand gently and kind of tugs you to go towards Lear.
well, if Astoria's doing it, yeah. I think I'll just take a few steps. I'm not gonna close the distance as much as kind of Lear is, because oh god, I'm leery of him. I'm sorry. That
It was a
literally
good
just,
one. It's fine.
just
We're
popped
literally
into my-
lashing out physically and Leary, so
Yep,
okay.
it's all right. Puns are acceptable on Sundays.
Sunday pun day.
Sunday pun day. So Lear is gonna offer an ash-covered hand slowly and kind of shakily, and he says, "You know, I don't know my mother from anybody, but I'm sorry that you didn't get to know your father because of the things she and her brother did."
And I think Rodney reaches out a hand, goes to clasp it, and then says,
move.
no, he just says, well, then first thing you have to know about me going forward. If we're family, I don't do handshakes. And he pulls him in for a hug.
And I think this triggers the Fomorian sex move, which can also be triggered by intimacy. It may bounce off, but
I didn't know that.
You nasty. Okay, yeah. When you share intimacy with somebody, mark experience if they love you. They mark experience if you love them. Now that's a good question. It is. I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. It sounds like Rodney has expressed familial love in some way to Lear, and I think Lear also feels the same way in this moment.
yeah, like platonic love, familial love, it's all fine. It doesn't need to be romantic.
Right, and I think that fits. So I think so. So that's experience for us both.
Yeah, and don't forget you also mark experience for that failed roll you had.
Oh yes.
And Astoria, do you like Lear, or did you like Lear when you helped him out?
I've always liked Lear.
No, like, were you?
Not that good.
I think just what you do might activate for you helping stop this fight, because Lear was acting a bit out of sorts.
Yeah,
So gain a string on Lear, and I think you really weren't selfish. You got these two to interact. Gain another point of integrity, you machine.
Yeah. I'm just too darn nice, apparently.
Yeah, and I think the crowd, like some of the crowd, is very angry that this didn't burst. Like, the fight stopped, the fires being put out by fire extinguishers because there always are fire extinguishers near Lear's performance, and people are like, like the show, like other people, we came for a show, we didn't come for a fight. Some people are leaving, but the I think this scene is ending. We can take a 5-minute break, come back, and set up another scene if everyone's fine with that.
Sounds good to
Absolutely.
me. All right.
Okay, see you all in 5.
See you in a bit.
I could have tried and helped Lear's failed roll with my new move, but the resulting scene was better. So
Yeah, that was seriously excellent.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
great.
And I forgot that Drastic My Soul activated, so Astoria mark experience. And and I think Lear, you can get rid of the condition, not all that, because that was all that.
Am I still a monster?
That's a good question. That might be Astoria's job to fix.
I think there should be a scene where someone tends to that whip wound, probably, which may help with the condition ending as well. But I want to touch on Cecilia right now while this scene is going on. Cecilia, you've not seen Sammy in a day, and you know they've not run away because the last person to talk to them was probably you that you know of. But uh, I think you're after that. Where is Cecilia in the carnival right now? If she knows, or do you want me to hard frame something?
I'm happy for a hard frame, but I think like in general, when the carnival is going on, she is probably metaphorically at least putting out fires and um, pumping water so that everyone is keeping their head above it.
Yeah.
And still, I think quite a little bit suspicious of when Mother Tribute will make her move before she can kind of finish the coup.
Yeah. So what I think happens with Cecilia is that she's walking around, she's doing her rounds. Does Rhonda have enough fattening things to make more fattening by deep frying them? Are the proper games rigged so we only give away the cheap prizes, kind of thing? And she ends up near the games section of the middle of the games section of the carnival, and she sees Hank just standing near the test your strength hammer game, smoking a cigarette, and he waves at her, but he looks a bit worried, which is very unlike Hank.
So yeah, I think she'll peel off from her route to end up by his side and wonder, what's cracked his carefree, never say die kind of facade.
Yeah, give me a sec. I feel a headache coming on. I'm going to take some painkillers. Yeah, and you come up to Hank, and he takes this deep drag, which pulls in more than half the entire cigarette, and then there's this plume of smoke around you guys. He's like, Mother Tribute's been real worried lately. She doesn't know that I still have access to lots of things she gave me access to.
Well, you want to hand over your PDA?
I
And
don't think that would help you right now. You're really into that cute little androgyne, aren't you? Sammy, right?
yeah,
And I remember their act showing off those grand skills. Mother Tribute does too. And I think she's trying to tap into Sammy's powers.
and where is Mother Tribute now?
That's a good question. Probably with Sammy. And the other question is, where's Sammy right now?
Well, aren't you terribly useful to me right now, Hank?
The thing is, Mother Tribute's not on the carnival grounds, as far as I can tell. Which means she's got to be somewhere of great power in this place, which Honestly, I don't get out of the carnival that much. I don't know too much about Haven. I can't help you that much in this, but maybe Sammy's friends can. Look, you showed me that Mother Tribute was using me. I feel I owe you, but this is probably the last favor I can do without sticking my neck into the guillotine of Mother Tribute's fingers. She likes to cut off what doesn't work for her.
Well, let's make sure her hand isn't on the tiller for too much longer then.
That would be great. You should probably find Astoria. She'd probably know where Sammy is. I've seen her go out into Haven every now and again.
Of course she does.
And so is
Well,
Cecilia gonna
yeah,
immediately?
I think Cecilia will thank Hank and then make a beeline for where she knows Astoria is.
And I think like, it takes a while for people to find. Like you're going around, like where is the story? It's like, oh, there was a kerfuffle at the show stages. A lot's going on, and would it be fair to say Astoria took Rodney and Lear to get patched up after the fight?
Yeah, I think it's kind of like just as a reconciliation was getting to sort of like get off stage.
Yeah. So, Cecilia, you end up in the medical tent, and if I can like do a bit of I think Astoria has like the first aid kit open as well, and is like tending to Rodney's whip wound. He has butterflies on his face to put the skin together so it'll heal again. Hopefully, won't leave a scar or a big one. And Lear is getting a like not hospital grade painkillers, but stronger than normal over the counter stuff because he got thrown bodily onto the stage.
So I think Cecilia will enter and look at the two guys, and she'll not say what she really wants to say to them. And I think they know that look, right? Um, I'll talk to you later about this look, and she will call Astoria's name. Grab her attention somehow.
Could I sense that like Cecilia wants to talk to Astoria by herself? Does that seem
Well, if you don't sense it, she's gonna say it.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I think I think we could categorize Cecilia's many looks, I guess, and I know what category this is. So I think I just kind of finished whatever I'm doing, driving. It's like, oh, looks like Cecilia wants me. I'll be right back, and pats him in the knee. Peter, you're muted.
Can I really quick just kiss her on the cheek? Because I'm being adorable, dang it.
After being utterly terrifying.
I mean, I'm trying to make up for it.
We'll have a talk later. Yeah, so
Yes, we will.
yeah, so go up to Cecilia and says, and what do you need? What's up?
So, do you know where Sammy is?
Are they putting on their show? I think
No,
or they're preparing? No?
no, not in the carnival.
Not in the what do you want to know?
Somewhere they might go to access power, maybe.
Wait, how do you know that?
I don't know if you've been paying attention, Astoria, but obviously I'm not privy to all of Sammy's secrets, or else I would just have gone there. But
You were privy to this one. Did Sammy tell you?
okay, she's in danger. Mother Tribute is targeting her. She's targeting Sammy, and I don't know if they're safe right now.
But why didn't you say that in the first place? Come on, let's go. And she's
Well, I
gonna
asked the
take your hand
question that I
and
wanted the
drag you
answer
out.
to, but obviously it wasn't direct enough.
At this point, Astoria's taking your hand and dragging you out of the tent, and she's just gonna drag you towards the place.
Oh, you're not gonna take Rodney and Lear with you?
I think she's. Oh, they'll probably see it. We were probably at the mouth of the tent.
Yeah.
But Astoria's panicking.
Oh,
I'm not sure if their spider senses are up to the words danger and mother tribute, right?
yeah.
Well, I think Cecilia is she cold-blooded enough to say, wait, hold on a second? I don't know. Sammy being in danger is befuddling her usual sense of prudence. Yeah, I think she'll not think of that right now.
But this is I think Lear and Rodney, you've cleared one harm each from the medical tent. I will ask, like, Rodney, you see Sammy and Cecilia and Astoria at the opening of the tent. I think if either one of you wants to keep your cool to overhear this conversation, that would be fine.
Okay.
And it might want to be Lear since he has the better cold score.
I'm okay with that.
And just to let you know, Ryan, you are muted if you want to undo that before you roll.
Okay, that is an 8 in total.
Okay. So you can overhear this, and you'll be able to follow them.
Okay.
But, oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, keep going. I was just saying, okay.
But if you do, the few people who are loyal to Mother Tribute in the Carnival will also have overheard. Or at least a few, someone who will tell the others.
Gotcha. Okay. So I hear them talking about Mother Tribute, who is a sort of maternal figure to Lear, as I think we've established. But at the same time, he's also promised to be there for Cecilia when she needs him. So I definitely think he's going to try and follow them first. I think he's going to alert Rodney. I think they're both sort of like taking a load off. Maybe Rodney has like you said, Rodney has like his bandages on, and Lear is just sort of like resting. He grunts and he says, "So they might," and this sounds really stupid, but they might need us. And I know we don't exactly appear to be in excellent condition right now, but I think they're going to need us.
Oh, and I forgot the prophecies from the first session. Lear, you have very visible hand marks on your neck from where Rodney tossed you.
Ooh.
Almost looks like they could have been burns.
Yeah, definitely bruising or burns of some sort.
Yeah. But I think when you say that to Rodney, Rodney's gonna just kind of like look at you and just say, "Don't take this as me getting soft, but that might actually be one of the smartest things I've heard you say."
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just like it's hilarious out of character because I'm like, we are both going for completely different reasons, but we're both like, Yeah, no way are we getting left behind.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So these two bumbling fools
It's so true.
follow. I think that's probably where we're at right now. But you mentioned that, unbeknownst to them, some folks probably overheard this whole kerfuffle.
Yeah. And Astoria, where are you leading Cecilia? Where do you think Sammy may have been taken?
Place of power that could only mean the place me and Sammy went to, the cave
No.
at yeah.
Oh, perfect. So yeah, you all, I think you guys are making good time. There are some as you guys are leaving the carnival, the camera will pan up to Ringleader King, like having someone whisper in his ear. Ringleader King's been bruised. Looks like he's been sort of beaten up a bit over the days, but he pulls out his cell phone and texts someone. And you guys get to this touristy lake where. Go ahead.
Can I ask a quick question of Astoria before we
Please.
reach there? Is she asking Cecilia any questions about Sammy and her, or what Cecilia feels about them, or is this purely kind of a rush to get to the cave?
I think this is a rush. I think I mentioned Astoria is the idea of Sammy being in danger because of Mother Tribute is distressing, and this is kind of almost mostly enough to like make Astoria forget about what Celia did to Sammy. I think she's almost like taking for granted that you do kind of care about Sammy. I think that whole awkward scene at the picnic table made that clear.
So I think maybe if the walk there is entirely silent, then just before we kind of enter, Cecilia will like grab your arm and say, Astoria, I know you have no reason to like me, or I'm going to do whatever it takes to keep Sammy safe.
I think I kind of nod at that and say like, let's see, what won't you say? I think yeah, she nods and says, "Hey, thanks for that. I don't know what would happen if anything happened to us. I guess if anything happened to Sammy, funny enough, I think we are actually near. I think we established like the cave is near the tree.
The creek that you were near the tree we are leads to the lake where the you have to swim under to get to the cave.
I think I look at the tree and it's kind of like, I found Sammy over there after you had and
broke her heart.
Well, when you say it like that, yeah, and they wanted to run away again. They were prepared to go. They thought this place they thought the Carnival had no place for them. And I told her otherwise. I told her this is a place for people like them, people like me, people like you, Someone tries to try and find someplace safe. And I want to hear from you that's what the place is going to be. That's what the Carnival is going to be. Not for me, but at least for Sammy.
Listen, they were 100% right, and I was wrong. I so Cecilia is not calling herself a terrible person because she promised them that she would not. So that's a pause in her description of what happened. Look, I'm gonna do this your way. After this, I'm gonna do it your way.
When you say that, sorry, can I think when you say do it your way, I think she kind of like she bristles a bit at that. Again, I think we kind of established it. It's a bit weird that everyone's kind of looking up to her as that, and I think Astoria even's kind of like. I think she even looks at you almost concernedly, like, "Wait, is this really Cecilia talking? She's saying she'll do it my way." That's what I think you see that look of like, what? I'm far too used to you just telling me all my many, many flaws.
Well, I mean, I can do something your way and I can still be mean about it if that's your preference.
No, I want you to do well. I think she's flustered, clearly. And I think she says, well, see, what I always liked about you is that you never try to lie to anyone.
Why would I lie when the truth is so much more effective?
Exactly.
I mean, people don't even want to hear the truth half the time.
Yeah, I'd like you at least to keep doing. No, I don't think that's what Story says. Sorry, I'm a bit flustered, but like, yeah, exactly. It would.
I mean, that's what we're selling, isn't it? A beautiful lie in the Carnival.
Well, we're selling them a bit of an escape. That's what I thought it was, anyway. It's not so much a lie, but just vacation, Because that's the thing with the stuff we have with magic. At the end of the day, you're gonna fall back down to earth anyway, and you have to deal with the shittier parts of life. But I like to think for a moment what we do is give them an escape hatch, even for a moment. At least that's what I'd like the carnival to be. I don't know. I don't know if anyone else would go for that, but
Like I said, I'll help you run the show your way after this.
well, but that doesn't mean you don't stop, being truthful. I prefer, at least if if 9 people say that's a great idea, I prefer you be there to bring everyone else back down to earth.
Sure.
I think Astoria is just feeling weird and comfortable with Cecilia being too deferential. It's so weird. She doesn't know what to say.
So, do you guys want to arrive at the lake now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think you guys get in your swan boat of war, paddle out to the place where you need to dive out and swim under into the cave. And Astoria, you will notice something very different. The other people will notice this, but they won't know it's not what was there last time. You guys emerge from under like the water. You're walking like into the cave, and past this first entrance, there is now a forest in here, looming and ancient. And every one of you is showing signs of what you truly are. If I may color this a bit, I think Lear's eyes are red and powerful, and just wisps of smoke are lifting off his body. Rodney's muscles are like so defined they look sculpted out of stone, and there are these like two protrusions on the side of his head that look like horns. Astoria, you have this beautiful like glowing star on your forehead, and your skin is more ivory looking. And Cecilia has, like, instead of body hair, this fine layer of down on her skin where it would be. And the forest should be calmer, but you see, like, it almost feels like there's like spikes of red just jutting through it coming from the center. How do you all respond to a forest being in a small cave near the lake?
I think Cecilia doesn't really give it much weight, though the kind of fury is rising in her, and if she was paying attention to her clenched fists, you might notice some talons slowly peeking out.
Ooh, I like that.
I think Rodney just kind of like looks up to kind of take in like how far this forest goes, and that's when he notices the horns, and he's just like, are they actually there?
Yes.
Okay.
Like it feels like a part of you that it feels natural to touch them. Like they've always been there. Though you know they haven't.
Yeah, and I think I mutter, this is someone telling me I've been having too much sex. I have no idea.
This was never the abstinence only classes.
Cause yeah. It's me taking the roundabout way of saying, oh guys, look, I'm really horny.
Okay.
But my character didn't say it. He kind of just went, all right, this is elaborate and I get it, but it's not funny.
I think Lear is sort of realizing that this kind of like sort of metaphorical fire that has been in him is now sort of represented physically, and he sort of connects it to this forest as they're both sort of forces of nature. Mm-hmm. And where I think before he's been worried about burning everything down, he sort of realizes that like in this moment he sort of finds a little bit of peace in this sort of like forest that feels just as like magical as this like elemental force inside himself. So it's sort of like, you know, it's fire, which is dangerous, but it's also part of nature, just like this forest.
And Astoria.
I think Astoria's been here before, and felt that presence, that feel of magic. So it's almost like she expects it to be something weird and something wondrous. So I think she kind of just moves through this space like she's always been there.
Yeah. And this large, I forget the name of the butterfly, but they're from New Guinea, and they have a foot-long wingspan, flies down from these huge trees, And it looks like an average butterfly, very beautiful, very elaborate wings, except for the human voice coming from it, singing probably a very recent pop song that I don't know what is. And it flutters in front of you guys. Oh, Kalu Kalay, what a wondrous day. New people come to play.
I'm gonna kind of like side eye Astoria, and I go, "Is this happening? Like, what? Anyone?"
I think Sergeant says, "We need to find Sammy," and starts moving into the forest.
I think Lear is gonna go kind of like up to Rodney and say like, "Am I on like really really good painkillers, or is this like actually a thing?"
I mean, I know we're both on painkillers, so it might be
Because neither of them seem like they're reacting to this.
okay. Well, let's maybe just go with it, and I'll just follow. Like I'm not gonna say I'll just follow, but like I'm just gonna follow Astoria, kind of like wide-eyed and a little bit like maybe I'm tripping out, but like also like I am going to follow Astoria.
And I don't think the butterfly speaking in movie, song, and book quotes is helping you not feel high.
I mean, on the one hand, it's not helping. On the other hand, I don't know that it's quoting those things. I've never seen them or read them or anything. So this doesn't make any sense to me.
Oh, just for Leandra's sake, I think the butterfly like flies around to all of you and just like flutters up. Smells like teen spirit.
Okay, I understood that reference.
We cannot keep referencing other games in this ferret. They don't know what
No,
that
no, I
means.
just like Nirvana, and I know you do. So,
All right. Oh, okay.
I'm watching you.
but yeah, you guys are moving, and it feels like it's going on for a long time. And I think like this is a prod for keep your cool, gaze into the abyss. Like either of those will probably work very well at this juncture.
Yeah, but I'm bad at all of those.
Yeah, or maybe a prophecy of what's happening or going to happen.
I don't have a good idea of what's going to happen yet. So I do think that Astoria wants to gaze
Like,
into this, but she really wants to know where Sammy is.
gotcha.
Yeah. And yeah, that's what I'm looking for. What's Mother Tribute doing?
Gotcha. And Mother Tribute has the condition terrified, thanks to Dragons Don't Scare Me. Feel free to tag it.
Ooh, all right. Do that. Tags. Well, that's still a 6, even if it's tagged, because it just cancels out my -1.
Yes, but do you want to spend the string that you have on the unicorn to boost that to a 7?
Ooh, yeah, I think yes. Do that.
Yeah, so you're focusing on, and there's this this silver light that they're the red rays, but this silver one shoots forward, like hits your the star mark on your forehead, and you see Sammy. They are tied to that geode you all found that was in the middle of the cave before, and Mother Tribute is slowly sapping their energies. Like there are like crystals around Sammy. There are tarot cards. There's incense burning. There are joss stick. Like every fortune telling idea from like around the world is being aimed around Sammy, and you see Mother Tribute with this very dull ritual blade sharpening it. And you know you have time, and you know the direction to go, but you know she also has someone watching over her or something.
I'd like to gaze into the
I
abyss.
think we're having this kind of vision. I think people will notice that I've seen this.
I think everyone notices the silver light hit your forehead.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
On second thought, I'm just going to kind of look at that and then look down to Astoria's wrist. And I go, okay, before I thought I was definitely tripping, but does this have anything to do with what you dreamt last night?
Wasn't really. It was more of a confirmation, really. But I know where Sammy is, and look, yes, magic. That we're all magical, apparently. And
Let's go save Sammy.
we're all magical. So is Sammy. But Mother Tribute isn't. And that's what she wants.
Oh, great. Well, the good news is I have horns now. So that'll help.
Listen, I don't know what we'll find. I don't know what other tricks Mother Tribute has up her sleeve. But we're not gonna let her get away with this.
Well,
Anyway.
you've got your resolve. Most of us have ours.
I think she kind of looks at everyone else. What are they all doing?
Cecilia is just looking for you to point in the right direction.
I think Lear is I think he looks concerned at all the talk about Mother Tribute, but he kind of shakes his head. He says, "I'm not running away this time."
I think Astoria gives you all a smile, just like nods head, and says, "Yeah, okay, well, let's go." And she's going to march in the direction of Mother Tribute.
You guys are walking in the direction, and for a while, it sounds almost like hoofbeats are coming with you or walking with you. Then you hear different sized hoofbeats coming towards you. You're walking through the forest, taking turns, going in the right direction. That I think there's even a line of magic from Sammy that Astoria is following. And then you take a turn. There are these two trees, and what you come across is a chimera, three-headed, but the head of the bull bears Rodney's father's face on it. The head of the serpent bears Lear's father's face on it. The head of the goat bears Ringleader King's face on it. And it blocks your way.
I'm going to order it out of my way.
And I think it speaks with Rodney's father's voice first. I wish I could. I wish I had my own will back again. And the goat speaks. We have been summoned by the magic of the malignant, maleficent one. The snake speaks. We are what is between you and your course. Take us out, and you may pass, but we shall not make it easy.
Like out for dinner.
Like what?
Like out for dinner
And
or
I
drink.
I think it's stalking forward on those hooved feet as the snake begins like spewing fire from its mouth. But luckily, the snake is at the rear, so the fire is not coming towards y'all.
I'm gonna step forward. What is it that you want then, if you're not going to make it easy?
And all three in unison: freedom, from this torment, freedom from captivity, freedom to move on.
I'm going to try something then. And I'm going to address the head that has my father. You know, frankly, I never looked up to you enough while you were still here. I sort of thought your whole act was just an act. And when you were gone, I just inherited everything. And now I've inherited everything. And you know what? I would give it all back in an instant if I could just actually have you here. Not all of this. I wasn't there when you did what you did. But I've let it control me. I've let you control me even when you're gone. So if it keeps you away and it keeps you towards moving on, then fuck it, I forgive you.
They're still coming towards you.
Great! Thought it was worth a try.
But I think you see tears streaming down the bull head of your father.
I think Lear is going to step up next to Rodney and address the snakehead, which is the one that has his father,
Yes.
right? Lear says, I didn't know you. I hardly knew you. And hearing from other people the things you did, I should be angry. I should be embarrassed and I should be afraid. But I realize now the only way for you to move on is for me to let you go. And so I'm not moving.
The snake hisses and shoots a gout of fire at Lear. Rodney can feel the flames close to him, but it's not enough to burn him. And as the flames end, Lear is standing there, proud and unharmed, more smoke rising from him, cinders on his cheeks like war paint, but unharmed.
Hey.
And Cecilia, I think you had unmuted and wanted to do something as well? Or are you letting them?
I was going to let them take the lead, but if no one else wants to step up, I'm going to strike.
Go ahead and strike, and I believe this activates Alkanost.
Yeah, so I think this is not like a run up and hit them. It's like a leap that is way too flight like to be natural, and she will come down with razor sharp talons onto the goat's head.
Roll that lash out physically.
Ouch. Snake eyes.
And I tried to save that roll.
Yes, please believe in her.
Yeah, when someone rolls less than 10, I sense it and can whisper words of encouragement at any distance. And I'm gonna roll with integrity, and I think,
+2.
yeah, and I'll have to raise one of those. And all right, that's a 9. Yeah.
Spend a string on it to boost it to a 10, and Cecilia has a 10.
Oh wait, I don't have a string on Cecilia.
Mm.
So it's just a 9. Oh,
So
that's
yes,
okay.
you get a
Or
7
this one was
to
7.
7 to 9 instead of a miss now, Cecilia. What option would you like to choose?
How does Astoria's belief in her manifest, or is it just general?
I think what you hear, you kind of like. I'm thinking this, but I think because it's magic bullshit, you can probably hear it, and I think you hear Astoria start saying, Cecilia, you've always been angry, but when that anger is directed at protecting those you care about, that can be the most powerful thing in the universe.
Okay. I'm looking at the options, and I mean, they learn something about your true nature and gain a string on you. Does it make sense for that to be Mother Tribute, or?
That could be Mother Tribute, yes.
Yeah. I think I will pick that
Yeah.
option.
So Cecilia leaps into the air, and you all see like the down on her skin burst into beautiful feathers. She is a full harpy now, shrieking in anger as she lands on King's head, and with a flap, the goat's head is separated from the body. There is a bit of a wobble as the magic animating this beast shifts and shimmers. It is now just a bull with a snake tail, as King is no longer a part of it.
Well, if that's the way we're gonna go with it, I'll lash out physically too against my father.
Okay. Roll it.
Yeah, so that is okay, that's +2, so okay, so that looks like that's an 8.
+2 or an 8 total?
8 total.
Which do you choose for your I decide how much the harm deals. They gain a string. Mother Tribute would gain a string on you, or you go your darkest self.
The MC decides how bad the harm turns out.
I think you are lashing out physically, but you get close enough and you wrap your arms around the head of the bull or the neck, and it turns more into a hug. And your father is placated. You see this sigh of relief as he looks up at you with those sad eyes and thank you. She no longer controls me. But now you're holding a serpent as your father has gone away. And the serpent looks at you and spews a gout of flame. Take 1 harm.
Ouch.
And what does Lear or Astoria do?
Gosh, I think Lear considers this probably his responsibility, seeing as this thing's, you know, spewing flames. That's sort of his deal. I think he's going to. I imagine Rodney probably like lets go of the snake after it throws up fire on him.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be stupid and keep holding on to something that's trying to kill me.
Yeah, that's a good instinct. And I think Lear is just going to stand between everybody and this serpent and just sort of like with his red glowing eyes just kind of stare it down. And I think I would be trying to sort of keep my cool in a kind of like how he said before. He's like, I'm not moving. I'm not going to run away. I'm going to, stand here, and I'm not going to let where I come from in my past make me, change my course.
Okay, and I assume the fear is this won't work.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, roll to keep your cool.
Fantastic. Okay. And that is so, and cool. Keeping your cool is rolling with cold.
Yes.
Okay,
Which
great.
is
So my
plus
cold is
one.
+1, and then I have a 10.
Yeah, so I think Rodney is like startling back. There is another gout of fire, and Lear walks in front of it, just holds out his hand, and it just flows around Lear. And Lear keeps walking forward, pushing the flames back until the snake begins swallowing them again. It goes into its body, and suddenly there is this look of fear in the snake's eyes, as afraid as a snake can look. And it says, I left and I never should. You are stronger than I could have ever hoped for, my son. Thank you. And the snake begins dissipating, but Lear, it leaves you the whip. And I think you all are going to head past this to Mother Tribute. We will take another 5-minute break and probably come to the finale of the session, unless anyone has a question.
Yeah, one question. I know it was for a keep your cool thing, but does Lear stepping in front of Rodney to protect him from the fire count as another activation of Drastic My Soul?
Yes, it does.
So gain an experience, not gain a string on you.
And because you hugged your father to peace, you are no longer monstrous, Rodney. And Lear, I don't think you're burning brightly anymore. I think you just are burning. So you can clear that as well. And just for those going into it, I believe, just remember, Mother Tribute is terrified and befouled. So I will see you all in 5 minutes. Okay, all welcome back, and I believe we're very close to the end of this. So, after the Chimera is defeated by you all, I do have Cecilia, have you calmed down, or is Alkanoth still in effect?
I don't think Cecilia is calming down till Sammy is not dead and Mother Tribute is.
Gotcha. So yeah, you guys make it to like a clearing in the forest. There is this huge stone geode that Sammy is tied down to. There's a like tent stake at every end with a limb tied to it, so they're kind of painfully spread eagled, almost like they're on a rack. And Mother Tribute is finally finished sharpening her knife, but she looks up and sees the four of you, and while Sammy seems to be almost like as like this magic is leaching into this world around you, Sammy looks like just regal and powerful, even though they are tied to this rock. But Mother Tribute looks almost paltry, almost like she's shrunken in and is wizened beyond belief. And she clutches the dagger close, sneering at you all. You found me. I cannot believe this has all happened since you upstart hooligans have come to my world. You were the future. You are the future. But what about me? Why was I left behind when you've had it all? What do you do?
I think I'm just gonna kind of say under my breath to Astoria, say the word, and I will run through her like she is. I don't know, but I will run through her.
Oh, go on, Cecilia. You're gonna say something.
Oh yeah, I'm not waiting.
Hey.
I'm performing some kind of death from above maneuver.
Yeah, I saw I was about to open up with a speech, but I guess Cecilia's gonna jump.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Mother
ideally I
Tribute,
will.
you scream!
Ideally, I will interrupt the, at least dramatically, the villain's, final monologue with a talon to the face. But maybe while I'm flying, we hear Astoria's speech.
Uh, I don't know. I actually will want to see how this works out first. I think.
Yeah. Let's roll this volatile roll and see how it goes this time.
I'm gonna pick up these dice that are still on Snake Eyes and trust.
Come on, Hardly Calm Marlin. Let's do this. You've been on our
Okay.
side so far.
Well, only for kissing, but it's given me a 6, so I get that to a 7. So yeah.
So, do you go your darkest self? Do I decide the harm? Do they gain another string on you?
I feel like darkest self is the way to go.
Yeah. So, Mother Tribute's going to take 2 harm. I think you swoop down, you grip her shoulders, your talons sink into her flesh. She drops the dagger and almost tries to drop to the ground, but your beating wings are holding her up thanks to the talons in her shoulders. And she shrieks and looks up at you. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. You go ahead.
I think she's going to spin that string to make an automatic reaction. You do this to the woman who helped you, to the woman who brought you in and told Vikram to raise you after your parents abandoned you. I was the one who was going to share the magic with you, and you lose it all to love. And I think she's going to try to make you doubt. Like, oh, and the last thing she's like, do you think after all this, Sammy will love you back?
Can I say something before I roll to see how that affects me?
Please.
Because this might work better. I don't know. I think I spit in her face and I say, I don't lose it to love, I lose it to hate. You're weak. You don't deserve any of this.
Ooh. Yeah, keep your cool. And she is befouled, so take +1 to keep your cool if you need to.
Okay. Yeah, just about. Got an 8.
Okay. Is that with the +2 or
That I rolled a 5, so that's +2
2,
and
+3?
+1 for the
Okay. You can harden your heart against Mother Tribute's words, but Sammy will see the true nature of the beast inside of you.
Yeah, I think so. I think when Mother Tribute says that she's doing it for love, when Cecilia says she's not doing it for love, that's like the bit that hurts Sammy the most.
Yes.
So yes, we're going with Cecilia hardening her heart.
Ooh, that's good. So yeah, I think Sammy just sort of like begins screaming for Astoria as as they almost seem to be recoiling both from Mother Tribute and Cecilia.
Yeah, so while Mother Tribute's distracted, I guess, I hear Sammy screaming and I make a run for where they are. You say they're strapped down, right?
They're strapped down on that geode. Yeah, there are tent stakes in the ground holding Sammy onto the rock.
Yeah, I think I kind of yeah, I'll make a run for Sammy and start trying to like free them from Geo and saying, I'm here, Sammy. It's gonna be okay. We're all here. It's gonna be okay.
Can I lash out physically to break the bindings?
You can just like say you're taking the bindings off, and it'll just be narratively you're doing it.
Sure. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just going to assist Astoria at this point because I was going to attack Mother Tribute, but Cecilia seems to have that in the bag.
Yeah, and I think with like you guys pulling up the stakes, Sammy is just like scared. It's like she's leeching my powers. She's making me do this. I don't know how much I have left inside of me.
Um, I think Sora just says like, she doesn't deserve any of your powers. We'll stop her. Don't worry.
I do have something I can do. So I am going to actually come up beside Cecilia and grip Mother Tribute's shoulder where the talons are still in there and tighten the grip and just say, how do you reverse it?
Okay, I think you're shutting her down with bully.
I am.
Go ahead.
Cool. +1. Which
And
hopefully...
she's befouled and terrified. Take another +2. So this
Yay!
is a +3.
Oh man, that's a 14.
So yeah, you inflict a condition, gain a string on her, take +1 forward to your next roll.
Let's take +1 forward.
Yeah, I think she's shrieking, and she shrieks for Lear to help her.
Okay. Gosh. All right. Yeah, Lear didn't think that this would turn violently this quickly. But gosh darn it, if he didn't promise Cecilia. So Lear is going to step up. And so they both kind of have Mother Tribute in a hold,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I think he's going to go up to her and say, you gathered so many people with power, and you coveted it and you envied it, and now you're trying to take it from somebody. I always knew that you were a hack, but I didn't think that you'd sink this low. You know that nothing you do here is going to change the fact that you are just a bitter hack. And I think that's him trying to shut her down, and harping on something that he sort of sees in her as a kind of fear of powerlessness. So could I tap her terrified condition?
Oh yeah, and I think that also like you're putting down like she is nothing compared to these other people. You can also tag befouled.
Great. So that would be a
And
plus two.
you're still enraged and you rule over ashes, so if you need it, you can tag that.
Well, I mean, hey. Might
This
as
won't go
well.
well at all with like nearly the maximum. No, I think this is the maximum bonus you can have in Monsterhearts as a +4.
Yeah, fantastic. Let's do that then. So +4. Oh, great, because I kind of needed it. I got a 7, so it's an 11 in total.
Okay, what do you choose? She doesn't have a string on you. You can gain a string on her, take +1 forward, or give her another condition.
Great. I think I'm going. So I choose. I choose one. Okay. I think I'm going to give her a condition, which will be something along the lines of what Lear was saying, how she is.
Charlatan?
Yeah, perfect. I love that.
And I think she like with that, knowing that everyone is against her, Cecilia, you feel the muscles that were tensed under your talons give out. She's not dead, but she has no, like the life is draining away from her. She feels defeated. And you and Rodney are the only things holding her on her feet right now. What do you do, Cecilia?
I think I will screech at her to reverse it, to put Sammy back to the way they should be.
And she just mutters, "Untie them."
And I will wait for Rodney to free them,
Yeah, Astoria, I think.
or Astoria.
Sorry, my internet cut out there for a bit. What happened there? After untie them, I lost what was said.
Cecilia is waiting for Astoria to untie Sammy now, because that will stop this.
Yeah, I think yeah, of course I'll untie Sammy.
Yeah, Sammy falls off the rock, and like suddenly you are all in the cave that Astoria saw last time. You like Lear's eyes are back to bloodshot normal. He is no longer leaking smoke. Rodney's horns are gone. He's still defined, but like Instagram model versus Greek statue defined. The only one still looking like they did is Cecilia, who is full on harpy because of Alkanost.
I think Cecilia is looking at Astoria for some kind of signal that Sammy, that they're okay.
I think
Yes.
And like her talons are kind of just hovering over Mother Tribute's face.
And Sammy seems like tired, but sort of like, you've run a marathon to get to a hospital because someone is in danger, kind of tired, like just exhausted, not gonna die.
I think, yeah, I'm helping Sammy up so Cecilia can see that they're fine.
And I think Sammy just looks at Cecilia and gives this weak sort of smile. I was like, please stop.
So Cecilia will say, I'm sorry. And then the claws go straight through Mother Tribute's head.
Oh. And I think Mother Tribute tries to dodge, but Mother Tribute will fall upon the geode. The blood pouring into it. It almost seems like it's being soaked into the stone. And as Mother Tribute falls off of it, her life draining away, the stone begins to crack. It hatches. Oh, yes, Rodney?
Oh, no. I was just... Go ahead, please.
Yeah, and the stone hatches. And inside, young, with the eyes of Mother Tribute, is a unicorn foal.
I'm gonna reach down and well, no, I'm holding up Sammy, so I'm not gonna reach down. Actually, I'm still holding Sammy up.
Can I pick it up?
Yeah, compared to this is a very very newborn thing. Its legs aren't functioning yet, but Rodney can pick it up and it will. The unicorn looks confused as a little nubbin of a horn, and but you can feel that maybe through some roundabout way, Mother Tribute did get what she wanted in a way. She's not powerful, but she empowered the magic she always wanted.
I think I kind of look at the unicorn and I throw a really tired look at Cecilia. Not like a judging look, but more like just a sad, wistful look.
And all the red that was in this area is now fading and draining back to a deep, calming blue.
So I think when Astoria looks back from Sammy to Cecilia, the talons are gone, the feathers are gone, and she's just on her knees, where she last was.
And that does count as your escape clause. Mother Tribute technically harmed herself to give birth to this unicorn.
I'm going to Cecilia. I'm holding up Sammy. I'm going to Cecilia. And kind of kneel down to where Cecilia is. And, well, I ask what I always ask people. This very kind of useless question. You okay?
I did what I came here to do, right? No matter the cost.
Well,
I said we do things your way afterwards because I knew you wouldn't want me to do what I had to do.
You're right. That wouldn't have been what I wanted. What I wanted was, well, not that, but
You wanted us all to get along because
no, I wanted her to live with the fact that she failed, that we've stopped her, and she live out the rest of her lives as a hack.
that's not what villains do. They come back because they're going to try again and not make the same mistakes.
And then we'll just stop him back. Instead, now you're gonna have to live with it. What you've done, Cecilia, and I would have preferred if you don't have to do that.
Well, so would I. I mean,
And I think Sammy, like, sort of talks. I was like, I wish you hadn't either. But what's done is done. We need to get back to the carnival and let them know what has transpired. And I'm probably going to need some extreme therapy after this.
I mean, you don't think I was saying I'm sorry to Mother Tribute, do you?
I wasn't
No.
quite sure. And Rodney?
I think I was going to instinctively offer the unicorn to hold, like maybe this would be comforting, and then I remember that, like, no, the unicorn is technically a reborn mother tribute, and I just kind of pull the unicorn away because it is still a child,
Yeah.
and like let's not do anything hasty.
And I think there's an opening to this cave now that was not there before. And unless like anyone has like, I'd like to sort of like you guys are leaving, maybe heading back to the carnival, still kind of arguing, but the unicorn that Astoria saw comes to you all and looks at the newborn in Rodney's arms and like like lowers its head to Rodney like in a bow, not like I'm going to gore you with my horn, and like I see that what has transpired was more damaging than could have been. She sought the powers that she wanted. Now she will provide them to others. Please, may I teach her the ways of what she is now, and may I will keep her from turning bitter and sour.
Rodney's going to first tentatively reach out just to see if he can touch the unicorn in front of him.
It is warm and comforting.
And with that feeling, Rodney takes his hand away and gently places the unicorn in front of the other one.
And the mother tribute to corn slowly raises to its hooves, unsteady, like a newborn.
Of course.
And they begin walking off away, like into the woods, as you all head back to the carnival. You do find that before we get to, I think, epilogues, because this seems like a natural ending point. Ringleader King had a heart attack while you guys were gone. He is under the care of Dr. Gomez, but this brush with death has made him admit the faults he and Dr. Gomez are going to be arrested after they make sure that they are, that Ringleader King's not going to die. And one of the last things that, it's written in silver ink. You're not quite sure what that means, but the carnival is now owned by Astoria. And with that, I think we start slowly seeing the credits like pan up, and then there's like I'm gonna do this in like I think order of not importance, but how I'd like to see the epilogues. And like first Astoria, like we see Astoria walking, it stops, like then the writing of the epilogue will like appear on the screen. And Astoria, what's your epilogue?
Oh man. I think it probably won't be a leap too far into the future. I don't know if we'll get what Sammy saw, but I think it's very much a case of Astoria's working. I don't think we kind of saw this in person. She's not gonna rest on her laurels. I think it's very much a case of like she's not like Mother Tribute who's gonna hide in her trailer and makes a declaration. No, she's out there. I think it is a kind of montage of her kind of doing rounds, just talking to people, and not so much like ordering, but like, hey, how's everything? And I think as when we see kind of walking, I think we kind of keep cutting just a bit forward in the future, like maybe some nicer tents, replace trailers that hasn't rusted into the ground for years on end, as Asura talks to Rhonda, and then to Vikram, and then to Hank. Maybe there's a shot of her trying out some weed and coughing really loud.
Like maybe Hank actually has nicotine gum now. He's changing his ways as the story is changing the carnival.
Yeah. I don't know. Pet a lion or two. That proper unicorn nonsense. Yeah, and I think once we kind of reach the end of the montage, it's like going around the carnival, and when she like gets to like the entrance, you can see that we're actually not in Haven, we're in another town. As she finishes her rounds, and she kind of looks out and sees like, yeah, okay, we're in another town, and just sighs a bit contently, and then her tent is still near the entrance. So she's gonna go in there, and I think that's kind of like the last we see in that epilogue.
And I think like next, like the carnival has been traveling. And we see Rodney like walking. I think starry-eyed from touching a unicorn and talking to one. And what does Rodney's epilogue say?
So first things first, Rodney actually got a new sign. This is no longer the poster of his father. It is of him. And it's not looking quite as like, over the top, like, yeah, super muscly or whatever. But it shows off the sharpness of Rodney's features in a way that I think, a lot of people, don't comment on the resemblance to his father anymore, because he's not just his father's son. He is his own man. And I think Rodney is just kind of really kind of focusing on, the act that he's got. If they're in a new town, I think that Rodney may have requested to just be a little bit closer to Astoria, just out of natural want to protect and everything. And yeah, I think Rodney still wants to be with Astoria, if that's okay. I don't want to speak for Astoria.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything happening this session that would say otherwise.
Right, I thought so. But there was that one little moment where you're like, we're going to have a talk. And I was like, oh!
And if I may, I think like the last scene of this is Astoria and Rodney sitting down at this table, and then Walter coming up with lunch for everyone. And like Walter does not have the reek of alcohol on him.
Oh, what a delight.
Lear, how do we see your epilogue?
I think Lear, we see him sort of so the Carnival's moved to a new town. He's unpacking his things. He has a box of things he saved from Mother Tribute. And I think maybe her tarot deck. He kind of holds in his hands and he draws a card tentatively, and he sees the card that she pulled when she told him his future, which signified that like fire would be his undoing, or he would be undone by fire, which was her exact words. And he sort of has like a candle burning in his tent, and he just sort of holds the card over the fire and just watches it sort of burn away, thinking like, in a way, it's like fire. He was undone by fire, but then he was able to sort of build himself back up. And I think that's sort of his like he reconciles that fortune as in like, oh, it's not going to be fire that kills me. It's going to be fire that breaks me down and makes me sort of refocus myself.
And last, but maybe the most important, Cecilia, what happens with you?
I think we see Cecilia running the show as Astoria's right hand. She does not have an act. Her claws and her feathers stay firmly secret. The edge is still there, you know. If she's at Astoria's right hand, you could call her the hatchet man of the Carnival. Still, you know, still doing what is required when Astoria would prefer not to pursue the necessary. And then I think the only thing up in the air is her relationship with Sammy. I have no idea how that would go.
And I think like the last thing we see is that Astoria has hired a new person, a counselor for the carnival, to make sure that people actually work through their problems. And it's Sammy and Cecilia going into the counselor's office together to work through what's happened. If that suits you.
Yeah. I think if we get like a quote out of Cecilia, like one snapshot of that therapy session, it is her calling them still the most magical person in the world, even if they don't have any real magic left after the after Mother Tribute's ritual.
That's lovely. And with that, I am going to say that this episode of Ebon Carnival has come to an end, or this world of Ebon Carnival has ended. Thank you for all who have watched and enjoyed with us. I'm going to stop the broadcast and do some debriefing. Goodbye, all.